All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining. Today we have Xander Arthur, and he is going to be talking about guide to online classes and virtual feedback. I'm going to toss it over to Cindy. She's going to explain how we do some of the question and answers, and then we're going to go ahead and get going.
Hi, everybody. Hey, thanks for taking time out of your schedules to join us today. What we would like for you to do, if you look down at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see there's a Q&A, and we'd like all questions to come through the Q&A. What we will do at certain points during the at that point, and then we'll move forward. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. And Xander, it's over to you now.
Appreciate that, Cindy, and thank you very much, Shelby. Hey, everybody. I appreciate you guys joining us today. I know it's a very stressful time, and unfortunately, we're not talking about stuff that we would sharpen our sword at the gym and improve our stuff at the gym. Right now, we're talking about how to manage during this crisis, and that's an unfortunate thing, but it's all about controlling the things we can control and not getting upset about our circumstances. So just a little bit of background. I'm a gym owner in Florida. I own Gymnastics USA with my brother, and we started our gym about just over 5 years ago. And we became the biggest gymnastics center in Florida. It's a 50,000 square foot gym, which is very big for Florida, not big for Texas. And we have almost 2,000 students enrolled. And we also own a software company called My Skill Chart. And we do some other things like ninja programs and things like that in the industry. So all the different brands that we have is under a company called Stars and Stripes Management. So you might have seen me around. I post a lot of stuff on social media, and I email a lot of things to other clubs about programs and things that we do, and just, good advice and tips that I like to show the community that we do at our gym and like to share, So one thing that we did during this crisis is starting March, we saw this coming. Of course, everyone did. States were closing down left and right, and we knew Florida was next because in Florida, the number of cases were going up and up and up faster than some of the other states. So we tried to prepare as fast as we could with going online, so going virtual, because we knew it was any day now before our students weren't going to be able to come to classes, and then we weren't going to be able to justify tuition. And so since we're a young company, and just like many other small and even medium to large businesses, we have expenses regardless if there's students in our doors or not. So, like people say, well, no one's in your doors, you don't have payroll. It's like, well, we still have operation expenses. There's still insurance. There's still all sorts of things. There's still debt. There's still all sorts of things we have to pay for. So we knew that we had to provide a service to our clients to stay alive. No service, no justification to charge tuition. So immediately, early March, we started working on getting online classes ready and virtual feedback. We started jumping on it right away. And luckily, we had a program set in place right when we had to close the doors due to the government, the Florida government mandating that the businesses had to close. Especially, they actually stated in the mandate that gymnasiums have to close, I'm sure, like many other states. So we're obviously a gymnasium, so we had to close. But like I said, luckily we had a program in place. We opted everybody into the online program, all the families. In March, we had some people requesting refunds and things like that. Of course, we gave some away as much as we could manage, but we opted everybody into the home learning program, the online classes and stuff, which justified us to continue to charge tuition in March. And it really got us the ability to, our competitive team paid full tuition, and our recreational, we only charged them a partial tuition. But in the end, we still charge them tuition through March and through April. So it was a really good thing, and we're very blessed, and we're glad that we can still continue to pay a lot of our full-time staff, while our younger staff that live at home and stuff, they're okay with just not having hours. So it's working right now for the awful circumstances. We made it work at Gymnastics USA. The program that we did, we also provided to other gyms too, and it's called the Gymnastics Home Learning Program. I'll just kind of scroll through it real quick. It's just the kids go online, they watch classes, and then they do virtual feedback through our software. So we set it up just in time. And let me just talk about a way that you guys can do it on your own, free. You guys can do it yourself. There's many options out there that you can use for services. You can use us. There's other people out there that are doing it too. So this is by no means trying to convince anybody to use my program, and specifically, it's really just advice on how to start a program. I believe that we're very, how should I say, experienced at this point with online classes and virtual training as much as you could be experienced in the gymnastics industry, because we never did anything like this before. So we've been doing it for at least 5 weeks now, I would say. It's been launched for almost 5 weeks or more. So let me just tell you all the things that we've learned along the way, all the mistakes that we made. Let me just show you kind of like a step-by-step guide of how you guys can do it on your own, how you can do live classes, how you can do virtual feedback in your own way, and how you can charge tuition, how you can prepare for it, how you can still do it even when you go back into business, back into normalcy, how you can still do online classes. Maybe perhaps it's a new sort of business. And then I'll also go over like the different platforms that you can use and the pros and cons, as well as the liability issue, which a lot of people are, of course, understandably concerned about. So before I start, is there anything that anybody would like me to say before I start, or anything that I need to disclaim, or anything, any questions so far?
Nope, you're good to go on.
All right. Okay, cool. So let's start with this. Let's first understand why we need to go online. Obviously, I just mentioned it in my kind of like introduction here, but also we can't forget our responsibility. Sometimes we're just so busy on doing what we have to do at the gym and dealing with our coaches and making sure our students place well at the state meet and things like that. We forget that we're actually a pillar to our community, that we're actually our leaders in a way with health and fitness for child activities. This is a really important responsibility. And so one thing that both my brother and I have been doing in this past year is really trying to take on that responsibility in our local community and saying, look, we are the health and fitness providers for children. And when there's a crisis, these are the people that are leaders of certain categories in our society have to step it up. And so you, as a gym owner, is that leader. You are that leader. So you have to make sure that you have to understand that you have this obligation, this responsibility to provide something to your community. Don't do it just because you want to charge tuition or things like that. Obviously, that is the bottom line, but you have to bring value first. And you have to do your job, your humanitarian job, and your responsibility with what you created your entire life, which is providing health and fitness to children. So we have to do this. It's a responsibility. There's no option, okay? You have to provide something online. In addition to there not being an option there's also not an option for you to continue running your business anymore as of right now. I mean, obviously this is gonna be over. This too shall pass. It's gonna be fine. We're all gonna go back to work. Hopefully you didn't pull the trigger to close your business for good too early. Luckily, there's programs out there to keep you alive during this time, and I hope you all applied for it. But this will pass. But right now, there's no other option though. Right now, if you don't go online, you're not gonna make it. You know, you have to have something online, something, you know, and I'm not just saying social media posts like you've always done. I'm talking about actual value, bringing children value through training. Okay, so lastly, with this topic of why you should go online is security. So we don't know if this is gonna, you know, experts are arguing if we should come back in May or not. Some are saying we should wait all the way till June or even all the way till August or September. So we need the security. If you're worried about like, look, I don't want to invest all this either money or time or try to learn all these different platforms or software, even try to learn social media. I never used social media before, or I don't even use computers. You know, I don't want to invest all that time. I don't have that time, or maybe you do have that time, but you just don't know where to start. You have to understand you have to invest in this for security purposes too. Because if we don't go back for another 4 or 5 months, you need something. So if we do go back, then good. Then we have nothing to worry about. You did invest in something. You learned how to use new technology. You started a new program that you never done before, never thought you would do. Then good, you learned something new. And then we're back to normalcy. Then great, and then no harm, no foul. But at least you had security by building an online program, and you know, you're safe. It's a safeguard. So I hope those 4 things: responsibility to the community, understanding that there's no other option, bringing value to your clients so you can charge tuition, and having a sense of security is legitimate reasons why you need to go online and you need to provide online classes. I hope that's understandable, because I had because I talked to hundreds of gym owners this past 5 weeks, hundreds. And I've heard a good percentage of people just saying, I just don't understand why. Why don't we just wait it out? Things like that. And that's why. So if any questions are up, I'll be happy to answer them before I go to the next topic. Good.
One real quick one. You mentioned that you're just paying your coaches still. Is this contingent owner of the gym? Should I require my coaches to do online classes even if I can't pay them right now?
Definitely not. You got to think about your business first, because if you can't afford to pay your coaches, that's just the bottom line. You can't afford to pay your coaches. I hope that you, as the gym owner, maybe you're a coach in the past, it would be best if you just do them yourself, or someone that is already on salary that you have to pay, or someone that is on payroll anyways, things like that. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. If you get the payroll protection program, on the other hand, you have to, because you have to pay them according to the loan if you want it forgiven. So we're going to go a little bit more into that later, but don't do this if you can't afford it, because now you're just putting yourself more in a hole. Okay. If you have people on salary already, reorganize the priorities of what they're doing to focus on online classes. I hope that makes sense. I hope that was good. I hope that answered your question. Okay. So let's talk about what equipment you need. Let's keep it simple. We got to keep things skinny and simple, but at the same time, you don't want to create garbage. You don't want to create stuff that people don't want to look at, people that don't want to hear. Like if the audio is really bad, if the visual is really bad, people are not going to watch it, and they're not going to find value in it, regardless of how good the content is, regardless of how good your coaching is, regardless of how good your online class structure is. If it's bad video, bad lighting, bad audio, no one's going to want to watch it. It's just the truth. So iPhone, luckily, is amazing. Like iPhone quality is better than cameras that were like top of the line, just a few years ago. So if you use your iPhone, just the only issue with iPhone is that the mic doesn't reach as far as an actual microphone setup would, or a lapel microphone, which is the one that goes on your shirt. So I see a lot of online classes on Instagram and Facebook and things like that. They have the camera far enough so they can see their full body in the frame, but you can't really hear the person. And there's nothing worse than bad video than bad audio. So the person's so far away from the mic, it just sounds so bad. So just make sure if you use your iPhone, iPhones are totally fine. Do it, put it on a stand. So you get a stand and put it on a stand, but get a lapel mic. So they have on Amazon, I don't have any photos up right now, but they have on Amazon pretty good lapel mics that connect directly to your phone, and they have a little pack on the back. So they're like $100. Now the microphone quality won't be so great, but at least it's right up in there. So it's not like you're like, hey guys, talking from way over here, like the microphone, like if it's right here, then the viewer is going to be able to hear your voice loud and clear. Even if it's a cheap one, $50, $100, it's better that than nothing. Okay. It's better than nothing. Or you can get kind of like a shotgun mic, which is a mic that has a little like this. Let me show you my screen here. So this is a lapel mic. So this is one where you connect it to your phone and the lapel goes right there. You're going to want to have one that doesn't have that wire. So you want to have one wireless like this. But there's also things like this, which is a shotgun mic where you put it on top of your phone, which is also pretty good. Lapel mics are way better, by the way. So you definitely want to get one of these, but without make sure it's wireless. And these are cheap. Look, this is $20. It probably sounds really bad, but again, at least it's right up in the microphone, and it doesn't sound like you're 20 feet away from the camera, which you are. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. iPhone quality is good. Lapel mic, which is this one, shotgun mic. The other one is lights. So if you notice the way I'm sitting right now on my desk, I'm sitting my desk in reverse. The reason why I'm sitting my desk reverse is because I have a window over here. So the window comes from this way and the light hits me in my face. That's why I'm, lit up and I look good. So, but if I was sitting in the other direction, I'll just show you. So I was sitting in this direction, like this. You see how like dark I'm getting. So a lot of times people, what they do is they make that very, very simple mistake. It's a rookie mistake where they're having the light come from behind them, the natural light come from behind them, and it just ruins the shot, and you're just so dark in the video that nobody wants to watch it. So it's a huge mistake that people make, and you just really got to look out for that stuff. So make sure you're getting that natural light coming at your face, or some artificial light, like nice lights like I can't grab it, but some nice lights that you can buy and put out. They're really cheap online nowadays. Like production equipment is so incredibly cheap because all YouTube bonanza that's been going on, you know, production equipment's become so incredibly cheap. So again, iPhone's perfectly fine. A lapel mic that connects to your iPhone. Lights from the natural light coming this way, not reverse. Don't have the natural light behind you or artificial light on your face. Okay, natural light is gold standard. Always use natural light. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. That's so important there. Any questions about equipment? Because I'm about to go on a very similar topic, which is about production. Any questions about equipment?
Nope,
Cool.
no questions about equipment
Okay.
yet.
So if you have that equipment, it's iPhone, a good iPhone. When I say iPhone, I mean like the up-to-date iPhones. You got that, the resolution will be pretty good. So resolution is like, I don't know what it looks like in your guys' screen, but right now my resolution is pretty decent. So it's focused, it's not blurry or anything like that. Sometimes you'll see like videos where it looks very pixelated or it's out of focus. You have to make sure the resolution is good. iPhones, they automatically adjust with the you know, the what's it called? Focus. The iPhones automatically do focus. So the focus is usually good with iPhones, and the resolution is pretty good. So again, you're fine with iPhone. If you have a camera, you got to make sure the focus is good. Now let's talk about framing. Framing is really important. Framing is making sure that you are not in an awkward position in the camera. So let me show you this. So this is one of our videos. Let's see here. Whoop, oh, that's today's videos that's about to premiere, which I will discuss how we do that later. But let me show you a perfect example of framing. So let me go to lesson perfect. Okay. Oh, look at that. Simone Biles. Masterclass. I love this commercial. It's awesome. Okay. So they know I'm a gymnast person. So they hit me with those ads. All right. So you see here, this is good framing. Everybody's in the frame nicely. You can see their full body. So when they're doing a workout, nothing's cut off. When he can come closer to the camera, it still looks good. The kids don't go out of the camera. They can do cartwheels. They can do round-offs. They can do all sorts of things. The camera is stationary. A lot of times I see people make mistakes where they put, you know, the framing like super close like this. Let me show you an example. If I can get that screenshot real quick. So they'll frame it like this, where it's like really close and the kids are out of the screen and the person's face, or maybe like if you look at my face right now as I'm talking to you on my video, like sometimes they're like all up in the screen like this, talking to the, okay guys, and it just looks, you know, it's unflattering and it doesn't look good for the viewers, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so make sure you're nicely in the frame like this, you know, not too much head space, not too much feet space, you know, it's right in there. And the kids can fit in there and do what they have to do without getting cut off. Okay, so that's framing. Just really keep those things in mind. The next thing is the background. It's really unflattering if you have trash cans or mats stacked on top of each other, just a dirty background. You know, make sure that the background looks nice and crisp and clean. Obviously, if you don't have a huge mural that says your gym's name, that's fine. This actually worked out perfectly because we have the picket fence. It's kind of like it's your backyard, you know. But the background for you guys, just make sure it's flattering. Make sure it's not unflattering. It's a better way to say it. Don't have trash. Don't have, you know, a dusty background. Put a nice. Also, what's really ugly is just pure white backgrounds are really boring too, especially at a gym because the kids' feet are all over the marks are all over them. So just, you know, maybe set up nice mats or something like that, or do a nice wide shot of your gym or something like that. Just think about your background. Lighting, we already talked about. We already talked about having the natural light come onto you instead of behind you. Audio, make sure the audio is loud and crisp and it's not clipping. So when it clips, it's like, you want to make sure it's not too loud. And then lastly, quality production is also quality content. Content in any type of social media world, any type of content creation providers, content is always king, okay? So what you're actually giving value, what value you're actually bringing on these videos, that really does matter the most, okay? But again, if this stuff is not set up, if your foundation is terrible, the content doesn't matter. Okay, that's why it's last. Make sure that your content's great, but again, no foundation, content doesn't matter. Okay, any questions on quality production before I move forward?
Yes, we've got a few questions here. Can AirPods work for a cordless mic?
Yeah, AirPods. Yes, they can actually. Yeah, you can use earpods for cordless mics. Yeah, I don't know how good the quality is, but I'm sure it's probably pretty decent. I never used it before, but my buddies
okay.
So
Okay, the next thing is in the iPhone settings. In the iPhone settings, what settings should we be filming in? 1080p or 4K?
that's a good question. So, okay, 4K is the best. It looks amazing, but just understand that the file is going to be huge. Okay, so it might take you a little bit of while to upload that file to your computer, edit and post, because you're still going to want to edit this stuff a little bit after. Now you can edit on your phone in certain ways and then post directly to YouTube. You just have less control. So again, 4K is always the gold standard. That means it shoots at 4,000 frames per second or something like that. That's the reason why I call it 4K or something like that. But it's really gonna look awesome. Now again, there's no free lunch. You have an awesome video, but it's gonna be a huge file. It's gonna take a long time to download and upload to YouTube or Facebook or Instagram and things like that. So if you have an hour-long video in 4K, it might be an issue uploading that file to Facebook or something, if you will. So you have
Okay,
to.
two more questions here for you. Are you filming these in your gym? Are you allowed into your gym?
So I guess this particular person is not allowed to even go to their own gym.
Probably, yes.
That's crazy. So yeah, so we are still allowed. So let me tell you our rules. Every state is different. Our rules is that we're allowed to travel for non-essential things. We're allowed to travel we're allowed to travel for essential things like getting food and exercising and things like that. And there is an exception clause in you got to actually read the mandate, like really read the mandate. In ours, we have an exception. Like we looked at it and we can be creating exercise videos to provide, and that gives us a exemption to leave our house and create these videos. So we have an exemption for it. But again, read the actual mandate that was for your state or your county. If you can't do them from your gym, just do them at home. I mean, there's no reason, if they're made for home, you should be able to do them at home. There's no reason. Now, how to get it's really better to have a gymnast instead of yourself. If you can get a gymnast to your house, maybe just a neighbor or something, I don't know. You just got to be creative. You know, we have to be really creative here. But I mean, you got to be able to go to your own gym. I mean, there's got to be an exemption for that. You got to just check it. I would just read that mandate for sure.
Yeah, I think that there are several states where if you're caught inside your gym and you're not an essential staff member, which is only deemed as those people that are paying the bills and writing paychecks and stuff, you're going to be fined. So I think that's where some of these people are caught. And that leads into the next question. Can you talk a little bit about videoing themselves at home in their home spaces? Do you have any suggestions that might help those individuals?
Yes, I do. And it's really a lot of this stuff up here. Because what I've seen, and I wish I had some good examples of what not to do, but what I've seen is a lot of home videos. They put the camera on the floor and then they're standing up, and there's a lot of really unflattering shots of you trying to make these videos. So like, just be really cognizant on where the camera is, what's your background, your actual background, what equipments are, like the furniture that's around you. You don't want to be unsafe to set a bad example. So make sure if you do it in a living room or something, make sure the shot is wide enough. The furniture is out of the way. If you're doing it outside lighting is very tricky. So just make sure that the lighting still looks good outside. And again, you got to make sure it looks safe. I've seen so many videos of kids doing cartwheels next to big furniture. Just make sure that you're not doing cartwheels and handstands next to big furniture and stuff. Okay. So that's my suggestion. Here's some good stuff here. Make sure you have lots of light on your subject. Always have the sun help. So here's the sun behind. Here's where you're taking the video. Obviously, this will be your iPhone. Here's your subject, and here's the sun behind. No. Here's the sun behind the videographer. Here's the subject. Yes, it's so important. You don't want to look like this. This is a very bad picture. You want to look like this, very bright and beautiful. So this is a perfect example. So, and I'll make sure I send these assets to you guys after the video. So that's my suggestion. Make sure you're safe and make sure the framing's good, the lighting's good. Don't put the camera on the floor. That's going to cause a lot of unflattering shots.
Okay, perfect. I'm just going to do a gentle reminder to everybody. If you've got questions, please go in the Q&A. Don't put the questions in the chat section. It's a little hard to toggle between the two. So Xander, go ahead and continue with your presentation.
Thank you. I have one more thing I wanted to show because my brother's feeding me some good stuff here. So this is portrait mode. This is not good, okay? So when you do videos, it's not good. Unless you're doing stories on Instagram and Facebook. We'll talk about social media more, but like for live classes, you're gonna want landscape mode. So make sure your camera is always sideways. This is like a #1 mistake of rookies. Totally noob mistake. Don't let this happen, okay? Do landscape mode, not portrait mode. Okay. All right. That was a good one. Thank you for that question because that was really important stuff there. All right. How should classes be structured? Let's remember why we're doing this. We're not really doing it so they learn skills or keep their skills, because we're all experts in coaching gymnastics. And what do we know? We know that as long as they're strong, as long as they're flexible, as long as they have good handstands and also good body shapes in general, they're going to be fine. They're still gonna have their skills. They're gonna do it. You know, it's like seeing that 50-year-old gymnast that can still do like a Takacha from the high bar. You know, you always will have your skills. It's just your strength and your flexibility and your handstand. That's gonna go away. So just remember, for your competitive gymnasts, keep them strong, keep them flexible, keep their handstands. For recreational gymnasts, you just wanna keep them active and learn some safe skills that are for fun at home. So just realize what's your purpose of what you're teaching and why you're teaching. You're not trying to teach them a backflip. You know, you're not trying to teach them any of that. I actually, believe it or not, I've seen some live class videos and some people are like actually teaching back handsprings. I'm like, that is so not what we're supposed to do. This is not for life. If this was for life, I can understand changing up what we're doing, but this is for a short period of time. It's about getting them warmed up, stretching, conditioning, and getting their basics still, okay? Now, so let's talk about it. They need to warm up. Why? Because they're at home eating potato chips all the time and they're not doing anything. They're watching YouTube all the time. So playing video games and stuff. We got to get them up. We got to get them active. So do a really fun, active warm up because they have not been moving their body, these kids. Work their stretch. Make stretch fun. Do it like competition style, things like that. Go through all the stretches just like normal. Do only like 3 or 4 safe skills to do at home. And just constantly remind them of how to be safe. And the biggest thing is objects. That's the way kids are going to hurt themselves, if they haven't, plenty of kids haven't already, is objects in the way. They will do a forward roll and kick the TV stand. They will do a cartwheel and kick a box. That's going to happen. So just constantly remind them to be in a wide open area away from equipment, 3 or 4 safe skills. That's it. And then conditioning, a lot of burpees, a lot of push-ups, a lot of squat jumps, a lot of frog jumps, a lot of wall sits, a lot of single leg sit-ups or hollow holds, arch holds, all the core conditioning that you know, handstands against the wall. Okay, so keep it very simple, keep it safe at home. Don't try to teach skills. Skills are just the fun part. The real things that matter is that they're getting active, they're staying warm, they're stretching, they're conditioning. Okay.
Xander, really quick question. A really quick question for you. As you're going forward, there are, again, these individuals that only can film from their home and they don't have students to demonstrate. So as you're going through and explaining some of these skills, can you sort of maybe address some of those concerns as you're explaining those skills where you have students to demonstrate?
Always address both use cases. So it's the same thing. So good news is that people that are doing these videos, most of us coaches, regardless of our age, we're all pretty healthy and active. So you guys can do this yourself. And the safe skills that if you can't do it, you should probably not be teaching it to the kids doing it at home. So it actually works out just fine. You don't need kids. You can do it all yourself. And hey, you know, you're going to double benefit from it because you're going to get some exercise. So yes, do it at home. Do everything that you can do is what they can do. Just keep that in mind. So it might even be better if you have someone that's gregarious enough and that can do just cold turkey by themselves and just do it. It's going to be awesome, you know, like it'd be better because it's more use case to the actual viewers, the actual students, because you're actually doing it at home too. So it might be a really good thing. Now, if you have students, just make sure you get several students on a schedule. So when we had a problem of having just these 2 students, these are one of our star kids, they're awesome. And they were just getting exhausted and just so sick of it and tired because it's not normal. This is not a normal class where you have 8, 10 other kids that you can focus on and see all the variables and adapt to each kid and coach each kid and give feedback to each kid. And You only have 2 kids or 1 kid, and that kid's just getting bam, 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 bam. The kid gets so exhausted. So if you do have kids, put them on a schedule. Have 1 kid come at this time, another kid come at this time. 1 kid come at this time. They're going to get tired real fast. So it's actually, I didn't think it was going to happen so fast, but they get tired very fast. If it's yourself, you're going to get tired really fast, but hey, that's probably a good thing. Okay. Any questions before I move on to some safe skills that I can show you?
Yeah, just a couple really quick ones.
Uh-huh.
Someone mentioned that their class is usually an hour long. Is that still how long that you're recommending these classes to be?
Absolutely
And
not.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, no. Okay, so you want me to answer that first?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Absolutely not. That's an excellent question. We were thinking about doing a full hour because we wanted to bring the same value, but it's totally different. Why? Because there's no extra in between talking to each kid, spotting each kid, setting up stations or preparing stations. All that fluff is gone. So it's just raw, cold turkey content. So it's going to be like 15 minutes, 10 minutes. This is what, 17 minutes. I think most of our videos anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. Because it's all raw and cold turkey. So you move out all that 40 minutes of fluff of water breaks and so on and so forth and talking to the kids. So yes, 15, 20 minutes, that's all you need. That's it.
Okay, another quick question. Do you recommend live presentations or recorded presentations?
It's a really, really good question. I'm actually going to go deep into that, but I'll answer the question right now. I recommend pre-recorded and using what's called YouTube Premiere. YouTube Premiere is when you can post something on YouTube. You know, you can post it public, you can post it unlisted, you can post it private, but you can also post it Premiere. And that's when it posts as a live video. And I can show you how that works. But it's as a live video, and then it has the same feeling as live. There's a chat box in there, a live chat. So it's way better to do it that way because just in case something bad happens, you can edit out bad parts. The child needs to use the restroom. If you need to cut the video for a moment, you know, if things crash, you know, you don't want to, if you have a scheduled workout and you're live, you don't want to, you know, have that risk for no reason. So I recommend YouTube Premiere, but I am going to go into all that whole entire category in deep. So I'll hold off on too much answers on that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Awesome. Really good questions. Okay, so here's kind of our skill chart. Let me just like speed around. This is our software, my skill chart, but I want to show you it because I want to show you all, this is where we house all our skills. So we have a beginner, intermediate, advanced, and competitive. Our advanced kids also, our competitive kids also do the advanced because our competitive skill chart and workouts is more of like an actual like workout, like a warm up, flexibility, conditioning more than anything. But the advanced actually has skills because it's, you know, if they're not doing skills, they're gonna get bored. So flexibility, and we have little demonstration videos of all of them. They're pretty sweet. But we do pike stretch, straddle stretch, butterfly, seal, cat, pike stretch, wrist stretch, pancake, ankle, lunge, straight lunge, tabletop, right, left, middle, shoulder, bridge. Let's see what the conditioning side. This is for beginners. So we got sit-ups, plank hold, leg raises, lunges, frog jumps, squat jumps, wall sits, push-up positions, modified push-ups, which is push-ups on the knees. For gymnastics, so here it comes. Rock and rolls, forward rolls, L kicks, half cartwheel, sachet, step leap, straight jump, tuck jump, straddle jump, tripod, releve, step kicks, coupe, passe, arabesque, quarter turns, bridge rocks, and handstands. That's it. That's all they need to do for the beginners. So that's kind of that. Let's look at an intermediate real quick. So I'll try to not to bore the call too much, but let me just try to see we get a little more advanced with the intermediate to make stretching and flexibility more of a skill than just, hey, do your splits, you know? So now we have sitting leg kicks, so active flexibility, arch leg taps, straddle leg taps, more leg taps, elbow bridges, knee bridges. Conditioning gets a little more complicated, hollow hold, flutter kicks, arch flutter kicks, dips, arch holds. So dips would be on the chairs, you know, lunge jumps, burpee push-ups, candlestick jumps, push-ups, wall handstands, hollow rocks, mini leg raises, arch rocks, side rocks. Now let's get to the gymnastic skills. I know this is kind of boring, but it's good. We got to do this. Cartwheel step and TikToks, handstand, back bend, sachet, bridge kick over, hitch kick, straddle forward roll, backward roll, and handstand half turn. Oh, no, I think that, actually, let's see what this one, I'm not sure what handstand half turn this is. Oh, this looks like what half turn is this? Maybe it's oh, that half turn. Okay, cool. You'll snap. All right, let's take a look at advanced. So this one is like we use for competitive and recreational. So our recreational kids, by the way, we have thousands of kids doing this. Recreational kids and competitive kids do this. So we have using the wall with the right leg splits, legs against the wall, bridge against the wall, straight body stand against the wall so your back is flat, leg kicks against the wall, things like that, ring kicks, shoulder touches for conditioning, handstand flutter kicks, L holds, press handstands, straddle L holds, planches. So this is good for boys too. Gymnastics, one-arm cartwheels, round-offs, full turns, 1.5 turns, double turns, if they have panel mats, back walkovers. We have an aerial, but that's as far as we go when it comes to acrobatic skills. I mean flight skills, no back handsprings, nothing like that. We got switch leaps, split jumps, knee switch leaps, switch sides, drills, and things like that, and some TikToks, back limbers, front limbers. Okay, and so the competitive is not really a skill chart, it's more of an accountability chart for us, so I wouldn't really go into that. But yeah, that's kind of the skills we do. There's 140 of them that we made, and all of them are just completely safe. The most acrobatic or aerial type skill, I mean, what's the term for it? Yeah, tumbling would be like an aerial. So, all right, any questions about the skill charts?
No, it's not about the specific skill, but there is a question. What if the kids don't have any mats at home? What do you recommend that they use?
I recommend to use the grass. And the good thing is the ones that are like more advanced, all those kids have a panel mat. And we recommend them just get a panel mat from Amazon. They're really cheap, like $60. Now, panel mat's good, obviously the best. Grass is fine. Now, obviously they're not gonna be able to do all these skills, and that's fine, but at least they're staying active. They can do in the carpet in their living room. They just have to not do all the skills. Anything that's painful, tell them not to do it. Yeah. We also have ninja. So ninjas, a lot of the boys, they can still do these beginners.
Okay.
Well.
The other thing.
Oh, I think I'm losing you, Cindy.
Okay, sorry. There's a couple other questions here. Do they judge themselves on these skills, flexibility, conditioning, or do they submit videos of themselves?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So that would be kind of going into how we do it with our software. And I don't want to go too much into that because then I'll be kind of pitching myskillchart.com. But just to tell you the way we do it, the kids upload a video themselves, they rate themselves and leave themselves a comment, and then our coaches go in and then go over that comment and say, and add a new rating and respond to that rating. So they kind of, it's fun. It gives, they rate themselves and leave themselves their own comment and upload a video of them doing it. And then the coaches respond to that with their own rating. So it's just, it makes them, it engages them. But we can go into ways that you guys can do it. If you have my skill chart, we recommend that. It's the best way to do it. But there's other ways to do it too.
Okay. She's talking about the list of skills that you showed. Are these the ones that you're recommending they do at home, or is this your comprehensive list?
This is made specifically for home.
Okay.
So this is our specific home learning program that we figured that these were safe and doable skills that they can do at home.
Okay. And then how do you limit the watching of the video to the people who paid for it? Okay,
so for our program specifically, we have the online classes, these classes live to the public. The reason is multiple fold. One, we just wanted to make sure we provided people something, an outlet. If they can afford it, they can opt into our program that we charge for, which is the coach's feedback. If they can't afford it, they could just take the classes. So that way, you know, anybody in the country or anywhere that has access to YouTube, everyone has a YouTube account, they can watch our videos. So we specifically allow for that. We want people to watch it because we want to provide something, you know, like I was talking about originally, responsibility. Now for the service, again, if they want the skill charts, if they want the demonstration videos, if they want feedback from our coaches, that's the service that we provide that obviously we have to pay our coaches to do and use the software for. So that's what we charge for. Hope that makes sense.
Okay, we're good on questions. We're running into some tuition and liability questions, but I believe you're going to be addressing that later on, correct?
Yeah, I am. I'm about to go into that next. And I'll be quick on this last thing. So I just went over all the skills and stuff that we do and just kind of just brushed right through it. But just a reminder, you know, have so many people message me on social media saying, hey, do you have any ideas on how to make it more fun or challenges or be creative? And I'm just like, there's a million ideas out there. Just go on Instagram, go on Facebook, you'll find thousands. Just copy them. But the thing is, that really doesn't matter. That's the fluff. That's the icing on the cake. The meat and potatoes is really if you're consistent, if you're engaging, if the kids are actually working out. That's all that really matters. I see a lot of posts about like the challenges and the cool handstand contest or whatever. You know, yes, do those, but those are more like just fun posts. Those are not online classes, virtual feedback. Those are not an online curriculum. Just make sure that you are consistent on a workout, 15, 20 minutes long. It has a warm up, it has some skills, it has conditioning, has flexibility, and you are consistent on that schedule, and you're providing the meat and potatoes, and then add the fun, add the creativity, add the other stuff after, okay? Don't think that you have to have the most creative, the most fun, you know, videos. You don't. They just have to provide value first, okay? All right, excuse me. Safety disclaimer and liability. Okay, let's understand something. So we are not inventing the wheel when it comes to providing education online free for people to just view, you know, without signing a waiver. We're not reinventing that. We're reinventing the wheel, putting gymnastics online. I mean, we're inventing the wheel. We're doing that now. We've totally created that. It's a brand new thing. But we're not reinventing the wheel of bringing value online and assuming the risk on the viewer. That's not something new. This is very standard. So just like any other content provider, the assumption of risk is on the viewer. They're not in your four walls. They're not actually in your control. You're not spotting them, okay? You are just giving advice online. They can use it or not use it. So that's that, you know, so it's going to be really hard to get Morgan or something to come up along and try to sue you. It's going to be really hard to do that if they get hurt. It just is. Now, the good news is that I don't know if Snyder is the only one providing it, but Snyder does provide insurance for liability for online classes. There could be others. You have to check with your liability insurance, but insurance providers do provide coverage for online classes. They do. So just check that out. Talk to your insurance provider and check that out. But they do. I don't know if it's all of them. I don't know if it's only one, but you need to check it out. And it's not just for our program, it's for any program, just to make that clear, because there was some confusion about that. Okay. The other thing is make sure on your videos, whether you're posting on social media, whether you're posting on Facebook, Instagram, or you're posting on YouTube, just make sure you have a disclaimer on the videos, okay? So I think if I can pull one up, let me see here. So yeah, you're gonna definitely want to have a disclaimer on the bottom of your videos. I can show you a perfect example in just a second. Okay, here you go. So as you can see here, this is one of our lessons, lesson 16. It tells them what the skills of the day that we're working on, what the class is about, and then at the bottom has a safety disclaimer, okay? So it goes over, do not attempt any of these exercises without adult supervision. This also is said in the beginning of the video. So let me show you real quick. Right here.
Gymnastics USA's home learning program. Please do not attempt any of these exercises without adult supervision. Also, be aware of your surroundings. Make sure the area you are doing gymnastics is on the grass or a panel mat. Remove any objects or people from the area to avoid hurting yourself or someone else.
All right, time.
So there you go. So we have that before every single video. So that's also why we don't do it live. We cut this part in every single time. It's a pre-recorded thing that we always put in front of every video. And then we put it at the bottom here. So it says, so also the assumption of risk and indemnity. So it's basically the waiver that you have for your gym. Like we just took our basic waiver that we already have for our club, and we just retrofitted it to make sense for online. So I'm not gonna read it, obviously, that'd be very boring. But you can check it out. It's all over our websites, all over our YouTube channel. And if you need it from me specifically, I'll be happy to send it to you directly. So just let me know. But it's just an online waiver. Our liability cover, our coverage says this is good. We use Snyder, he's happy with it. So just, like I said, just check it out with your insurance provider. I know some do, I know for a fact Snyder does. Okay, any questions on that?
This is from someone that says, if my gym is not paying me to do the videos, am I covered by the gym's insurance?
Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
you're covered. And the
Go
answer is,
ahead.
yeah, if you're a coach and you are working, they are paying you to do it, or they're not?
They're not paying them to do it. I think that's going to be a question that they need to speak to their owner about directly.
You would definitely need to ask. That's a tricky situation. I just ask directly ask. There's nothing wrong with directly asking your owner about it, and they can ask their own providers and workers' comp coverage. But
Yep.
the answer, if she was still employed, the answer would be yes. She's covered by his workers' comp for sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, go forward. No more questions on that.
No problem. Okay, so this is a good one, and I think we're doing good on time here, I hope. What platforms to use for live classes? This is a great conversation. All right, so we have Skype at the top. I would put all sorts of pros and cons to it, but I decided to not put any at all because they moved really fast, and they just came out with a very Zoom-like functionality where you can do like shared links and things like that. Before Skype, you couldn't do that. Before, you could only have people join Skype if they had an account. Now that has changed. So I don't have enough information because they just came out with a whole bunch of brand new functionality. I'm going to assume it's probably just like Zoom because they're a huge company. They probably caught up to what made Zoom so great during this boom. If you realize Zoom is just everywhere now, it wasn't like that case before coronavirus. So I'm pretty sure Skype is doing everything that Zoom is doing. I just don't have enough information because it just came out. But I do have plenty of information about Zoom. So the pros of using Zoom is obviously anyone can join with a link. That's how you're in this video right now. So it's really easy to share the link. Each class can have its own unique link. So you can have a beginner class link, an intermediate class link, an advanced class link, and it's always the same link, okay? So that's really nice. Or you can just have a unique link every single time. It's up to you. You can easily share the link. You can record the meetings like we're recording this one. It's easy to have multiple seats, they call it. So like multiple, students in the class. It's easy to set up recurring meetings. So you can, like what I was saying a little bit before, is where you can say, this is a 4 o'clock class every day. And that it's the same link every single day. So you can put on your website, 4 o'clock class, here's the Zoom link. And every single day at 4 o'clock, that same link would work, or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever. So yeah, so just, that's really, really good. There's different views. You can like spotlight a student. So like, oh, good job, Johnny. Take a look. Johnny's doing a perfect forward roll or perfect push-up position. Check him out. And then you can spotlight him, and it'll just show him on everyone's screen, which is really cool. You can mute everybody. You can control everybody's actions. So that's really good. There's also a waiting room. So you can have people wait to get in. So not people are joining while you're trying to set up. So there's a lot of really good features there. The cons are it's not completely secure. So if people find the link, anybody can jump on there, and you don't want some inappropriate child jumping on there doing inappropriate things, or an adult or something like that that has no business being in that class and being inappropriate. So there is that issue, and Zoom is working on ways to fix it. I'm not sure how they fixed it, if they fixed it, and what they're doing, but there is an issue with that. So people can just jump in if they have the link. It's not free. So I'm sorry, it is free up to 40 minutes. So after 40 minutes, the video just shuts off. So you have to make sure you stay within the 40-minute limit or pay for it. I don't know the prices, but I'm sure it's very easy to find online. So you can just take a look, but you have to pay for it unless you're going to keep your videos under 40 minutes, which we talked about, you probably are. So that's good. Here's some tips about Zoom. I'm kind of going rapid fire because we still have a little more topics and we only have like 12 minutes left. Okay. Put everybody on mute. All the kids are gonna be, you don't want that to happen. Put everybody on mute. And then allow them to have the option to unmute themselves, but then you can mute them again because sometimes you want them to talk. So, or you can conduct, maybe don't have them that option to unmute themselves, but you can say, all right, Johnny, go ahead and talk, and then unmute Johnny, have a disclaimer on how to conduct yourself before every Zoom class. So you're like, all right, guys, we're gonna start our class. Make sure that you're appropriate. Make sure that you have your microphone ready. Make sure that you have good internet connection. Make sure you don't do the cameras in a good spot where we can see you. Make sure you don't say any inappropriate language or behavior, and then start the class. Anybody that's inappropriate, just kick them out. Kick them out of the class. You have the full right to do that as a Zoom host. Kick them out of the child that's inappropriate or person that just jumped into your Zoom. Make sure that if the kids are outside, just tell them to use their cellular data. Some kids are outside, just remind them like, hey, if you're outside, use your phone data instead of Wi-Fi because you're probably gonna get kicked off the Wi-Fi. It happens all the time. I recommend only, you can use hundreds of students during a Zoom class, but it's hard to manage the students and give feedback unless it's less than 10 students. So keep it under 10 if you're gonna do Zoom classes. Okay, so that's Zoom. I'm sure there's a lot of questions coming, but we'll get to them. YouTube. So now this is a little bit different. So Zoom class is if it's like you're doing a straight up class. You're doing a straight up class at a certain time and you have a certain amount of seats available. Now for the live classes that we do at Gymnastics USA, because we didn't want to have that payroll off the gate of closing down, we wanted to just be able to do a live class that everyone could join. We didn't want to have all these scheduled times, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We just wanted to post one live class from one coach. So a bunch of kids can watch anytime, but they can also watch it when we premiere it, which we talked about, which is acting like it's a live video. So the pros of doing this one is almost everyone has a YouTube account. You know, with Zoom, anybody can log in, but YouTube, everyone has a YouTube account because it's Gmail. Everyone has a Gmail account. You can set up videos as Premiere, like I talked about, where it acts like a live video, but it's really not. So that's really cool. And you'll see when you post a video to YouTube, it has options: listed, unlisted, public, unlisted, private, or Premiere. Pick Premiere because then it's cool as long as you tell people when it's posted. The downfall of this is it will not reach as many people as, let's say, Facebook or Instagram. You're not going to hit as many people at first unless you're a very popular YouTube channel already, which none of us are. So you're not going to hit as many people as you can with other channels like Facebook, Instagram. You can't host live from a computer easily. You have to like have other software. So you can only do it from a phone. So if you're trying to post YouTube videos live, you can only do it from phone. So that's kind of a problem. You can't see other students, obviously. So you have other students that are in your YouTube live video. You're not going to be able to see other students. You're not. Okay. So what the tips, my tips are, because this third column is tips, is use for structured curriculum-based classes, not for like feedback. Use YouTube for structured classes. Like this is the class. Take it when you can, but we're going to post it at 4 o'clock. That's what we do. We say, hey, we're posting this YouTube video at 4 o'clock to keep the kids on a schedule, but they can watch it anytime, so it doesn't go away. So we use YouTube as structured videos. We use Zoom, on the other hand, for like, hey, you're the 10 students that are invited to this class. We'll see you at 4. That's different. So Zoom is for like real classes of students that you can give feedback. YouTube is for the masses that have a structured curriculum-based class that you can launch at a specific time for scheduled purposes, and then they can watch later. It's used for as many students as you want. Obviously, it could be hundreds of thousands if you're that awesome. Use the Premiere feature instead of live, like we discussed, because you don't want to, if something makes a mistake, you fix it in editing before you post it. Okay, that's YouTube. Now, Facebook, the pros, it's very popular. They're the pioneers of live videos for posting just live videos. So they're really good for Facebook Lives. A lot of people are going to watch them. But the only problem is not everyone has a Facebook account, especially nowadays. Facebook is becoming less popular. Instagram is becoming way more popular. So not everybody has a Facebook account. That's kind of a problem. You can't host live from a computer, and you can't see, obviously you can't see other students when you post a live video. So that's only a Zoom thing. Facebook tips is used for like challenges and fun exercises and ideas. So this is more of like what I was saying. If you really want to post, here's a challenge of a handstand challenge, or here's a cool drill that you can do at home, or a cool exercise you can do at home. Post that on Facebook, post it on Instagram. Do not post it on YouTube. You would look ridiculous. Do not just make a Zoom video about it. That would be totally ridiculous. So post on Facebook the fun challenges, the fun exercises, and it's exactly the same stuff for Instagram. Now, if you want to get as many views as you can for your live video, use Instagram. Instagram has a really good tool for live videos because it buzzes everybody's phone when there's a live video. And so everybody that's associated with, everyone that's following you, it buzzes their account. So that's really effective with Instagram, but not everybody has an account. And Instagram prefers that you record this way. Instagram does not like this way, it just doesn't do it. And I told you before, this is way better for quality videos, but Instagram likes this. So that, to me, that's a con. You know, I like films like this, video like this, I don't like this. In Instagram, you have to do this. So that's a con. You can't see other students, obviously we know that. So again, use Instagram. It's a great tool for challenges and fun exercise and drills and communicating with your following, okay? But don't do it for live classes. I don't recommend it. I recommend live classes to be a Zoom with 10 one-on-one kids, teaching them live, or YouTube Premiere videos as like a scheduled video that goes out that kids can participate, okay? That was a big one. I'm sure we have a lot of questions. I can wrap it up in 5 minutes.
Okay, we've got one that's a statement. Zoom is categorized us as a school. So any of our staff that have an email address that has our domain name gets unlimited time rather than the 40-minute limit.
Nice.
So that's just sort of an update.
Good news. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
good
free?
news.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay. That's a good program to have.
And then
I think I lost you.
yeah, I realized that. Then we have text. You need to repeat that?
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Sorry, that's mine. When you post to YouTube Premiere, can you edit the video, like add text to the screen?
No. Great question. You're going to have to do that with the editing software. So once you post something to YouTube, you're donezo. You can't edit the audio. I mean, there's some things you can do, but just forget about it. No editing audio, no editing graphics. You can like shorten the video, but that's about all you can do. Forget about it. Do all your editing in an editing software like iMovie or Adobe or something like that, and then post it. Okay.
Okay. Can you save to Instagram video and then post to YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
Ask that question again.
Can you save an Instagram video and then post on YouTube?
No, you cannot. So, but if you created that video on your phone, you still have it on your local device, so you can just reuse it on both channels.
Okay. I will go ahead and start on the others, and I'll screen these last couple questions
And
there.
just so you guys know, like after we'll be available.
Xander, it looked like you froze.
Yeah, I think Xander froze.
Yeah. Good. That's not good. Okay, we're gonna hold off and wait until Xander is able to get back on. I just wanna let everybody know that this has been recorded and we'll post it up onto usagym.org, but it looks like Xander's back, so. Oh. Right, I'm not sure. Xander, we cannot see you.
Okay, sorry about that. Now you can hear me, right?
There
Yep.
we go. Yep, there we go.
You can see me.
Yes.
Yep.
You can hear me. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say that again. I apologize. I was saying that I have Adam here. He's watching on the webinar. He's the vice president of our digital marketing company called My Web Solution. He knows everything about social media. He knows everything about these platforms. He'll be happy to assist you with any questions after this call and talk to you about how, the best way that would work for you. So those questions, those detailed technology, social media questions, he'll be happy to answer them. So you can give him a call after this. And I'll leave my information so you guys can contact us. Okay, so we're still good, right? Everything's still good? Audio, visual? Okay. All right, so let's go quick speed round to finish this thing. And I'll answer any more questions. I assume we're gonna go a little bit over. Now, you guys are all gym owners. You guys know how difficult it is to get anybody to do anything. You know, you can say, hey guys, free gymnastics for a week, and you'll still struggle to get people to come. You know, it's just, that's the way the world works. It's hard, there's so much distractions, you know, it's hard to get people to do anything. So just because you have online classes, just because you have this great program you worked so hard on to launch does not mean they will come. Okay, I'm sorry, it's just the way the world works nowadays. So you have to market. How do you do it? Social media and email blast, okay? So constantly promote on Instagram and Facebook, show videos and photos of other kids doing your home program, your online classes, show social proof, they call it, of other people enjoying and loving it. Get as many people to repost them doing the online classes. Repost, check out my Gymnastics USA social media. You'll see just a ton of students just uploading, reposting our students, just uploading videos of them doing the skills at home and doing the exercises. So you got to check that out. And you got to do that for yourself. That's the only way you're gonna do it. Email blast. Email blast is still the most effective marketing tool, regardless of what people say. It's still extremely effective. I'm just gonna scroll through my Facebook as I discuss it. But as you can see, we just are always posting. Look at this. This is beautiful. I love this one. So just always like promoting. We already got thousands of kids doing this, but we still promote it all the time. We just don't stop. Miss the lesson? Check out our YouTube channel. You know, are you doing your classes? I always post a video. I do a lineup to my competitive gymnasts every day, every single day, just like as if I was at the gym. I go do a YouTube live, and I just talk to my gymnast. And I have like 150, 200 kids do the YouTube live with me, but I promote the home training all the time. The home learning program, I promote it all the time in my coach's lineup. I do it every single day on YouTube. So just constantly talking to my students, constantly giving them feedback, constantly promoting the program. You can't stop. You can't stop because it's such an important, you got to remember why you're doing it too. It's not just to keep your gym alive, but it's also to be responsible because it is your obligation. Okay, we got to keep these kids healthy. We got to keep them active. All right, how to enroll students. This is probably too late, but we did an opt-in concept where everybody was opted in. We closed the gym doors, but they're still in our program. They're still members of our gym. So we said, hey, we're still doing classes. They're just online. So you opted in, we're just charging you less tuition. Now, people that wanted to opt out, they reached out to us and they canceled. That's fine. But we have way more people sign up because, again, it's so hard to get people to do anything. So if you opt them in, they're not going to opt out. So you have them already opt in the program. And then you say, hey, you will be charged for this program on this date. You just warn them. Okay. Now it's probably too late for a lot of people. So you're going to have to just say, hey, we're enrolling everybody now. So you know, we're doing everybody a trial up until this date or something like that. So like if you charge on May 1st, you're saying, hey, we're going to charge on May 1st, but everyone's enrolled now for a free trial. We opt you in for a free trial, you know, that kind of thing. Just try to opt in as much as you can and use that concept. For charging people for it, utilize what you know. Use your software, use iClass, Jackrabbit, Studio Director, MindBody, whatever software you use what you know to charge tuition and just charge them $25 to $40 a month for home learning for this program. Okay. Don't worry about the things that don't matter. My goodness. I love all you gym owners. I really do. You are part of my family with this gymnastics community, but so many gym owners are worrying about things that don't matter. They're like, well, this is not going to be effective and efficient as this is not going to replace gymnastics, real gymnastics. Well, no, it's not. Of course not. Well, what about the liability? Yeah, of course there's liability, but there's safeguards in place. But it's not going to be easy to find and easy to log in and easy to view. Okay, I know it's not going to be perfect, but guess what? It's better than nothing. And don't be a perfectionist. Don't think it has to be perfect. If the video wasn't perfect, if there's blips, if there's mistakes said, as long as it's not egregious, post it. Just do it. Because worrying about things that don't matter are going to cause you to fail. Trying to be, don't think that a perfectionist is a badge to wear of honor. It's not. Don't be a perfectionist. It's not going to be perfect. It never will be. But do this, what I call iterations, okay? So what you do is you launch something, you get feedback and try to improve. You launch that improvement, get feedback and improve again. Launch that again, get feedback, improve again. That's iterations, just getting better one step at a time. Don't think it has to be perfect right when you launch. It's called a minimal viable product. Get something out there, please. Don't worry about the things that don't matter. Well, the button's not right. This is not right. My video is not right. Her hair was wrong. The camera was weird. You know, don't worry about it. Okay. Just get something out there as long as it's not egregious. Use the tips that I showed earlier. Okay. Now let me go another rapid fire mode. Step to get started. Get someone to lead the classes at home or at the gym. Get students. Make sure you have multiple students. Schedule them out. Prepare your production equipment, the videos with the lapel mic or the shotgun mic. Get the lighting in the right spot, the sun going towards you or lights towards you, no lights behind you ever. Create a few test classes, test it first. Get several, like I said, several students on a schedule or no students, do it by yourself in your house. Post the class schedule. Okay, let me mention this one more thing. Post the class schedule. Even if you're posting videos not live and you're just premiering them or just posting them, tell people when they're posted so they can be on a schedule. my goodness, people are struggling right now because they've lost purpose. They're not going to work. They don't have their normal coffee at a certain time. They're not having lunch at a certain time. They're not going to work at a certain time, coming home at a certain time. Everything's just a big spaghetti monster soup of a ridiculous schedule. So you are going to be a pillar to them when you say classes are at 4 o'clock, regardless if they're really at 4 o'clock or not. Just telling them that at 4 o'clock is such a good thing you can do for your community. Just getting those kids back on schedule, okay? So post it on a schedule, post it on your website. Don't post it on social media posts where it just disappears after a while. Post it on your website. Post information and instructions on your website so they know what to do. And make sure you create some type of skill chart they can go off of and feedback system where the kids can upload their updates, and then there's some type of response to it. If you want to be like very old school about it, just have them email you the stuff and you can email them back. Obviously, that's not the best. There's good solutions out there. We obviously have a software for it. You can reach out to us, and if you have questions on how you can do it with us, we'd be happy to help. Now, free stuff. We have gymnastics. If you cannot make these classes and it's just too much bandwidth, you don't have the paid protection program to hire anybody, that's fine. You can still offer something in your community. Just tell them to go to Gymnastics USA, okay? It's not USAG, just to be clear on that. It's Gymnastics USA, our gym is called Gymnastics USA. And we have the YouTube channel. It's all free, completely free. So and I'm not trying to sell you anything at all. The kids can just go there and utilize those free classes and just watch them. We post them every single day, brand new classes every single day. And it's great. So just check it out. It's gonna work, do it. Okie dokie. So I know we're past time. I was trying to go fast, and I apologize if I brushed through important things. Do we have any questions to end on, or shall we just end right there?
I think really what we've got is just 2 questions that maybe you can answer real quickly for us. The best free editing software, and what email program do you use to blast out? Those are the last 2.
Yes, good questions. So best video editing software, Austin, do you have any suggestions for that?
We'll link to some free ones.
We'll link to some free ones. The best video software editing is Premiere. It's an Adobe software. It's a little tough to use, but if you're new and if you have a Mac, iMovie is so incredibly easy. A caveman could do it. So you got to use iMovie. But if you don't have a Mac, there is some good softwares out there that we'll send some links out and stuff for people to use.
And then the last one, what email program do you use to blast out?
Yeah, so I use Campaign Monitor, but I don't suggest it. It's more for techie people. MailChimp is the gold standard nowadays. Constant Contact is pretty popular, but nowadays MailChimp is the leading in mail blasting. If you're more a techie guy and you like software integrations and stuff, use Campaign Monitor. It's really good, Campaign Monitor. But again, MailChimp is the easiest to use, and it's the industry standard.
All righty. Well, that concludes the questions that we have for you. And thank you, Xander. I think Shelby's going to want to finish everything up here.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you. Thank you, Xander, and thank you, Cindy. Just to let everybody know, this has been recorded and it will be posted on usagym.org. And then Xander, if you could send me over the PDFs, maybe we can utilize them just to get it out to the community. That would be awesome. So that will also be posted on usagym.org as well. So thank you.
Yeah, no
Thanks,
problem.
everybody.
Good luck to everybody. God bless you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.